Hey, how y'all doing? So it was finished the right side of my front brakes. Anyways, realized I haven't done a video on my front brakes yet, so that's what I'm doing. So I already took care of one side. As you can see, that front brake fluid reservoir is still closed, and I'm doing the whole process with it still closed, which you can still do. So what I'm doing, I just took off these two bolts for the brake caliper. As you can see, there are these two. Took them off by about 12 millimeter socket and ratchet. So all this job can be done with just hand tools, just socket, ratchet, Allen key. It's pretty much mostly all you need, and then finishing off with bleeding the brakes after you're done. So I took off those two bolts for the caliper, and now I'm just loosening these Allen little bolts as well that secures the brake pads in place. So that one's out. I'm just doing this right now just because it's easier to do while it's still on, instead of holding it and taking off my hand. Alright, so there we go. Those two are off. This should just come right off. So here we go. You can see those are my old brake pads. These would be the new ones. XBK5s. Had them on my previous bike. Loved them. So that's what they're going to go on this bike. So I'm just going to take off these Allen bolts and take off the brake pads. And what I'm going to do is use Simple Green. It's just an all-purpose cleaner. Toothbrush and a cup with some water. After I take off these brake pads, I'm going to go ahead and clean these little pistons that you see right there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Those pistons are what compress the brake pads into the brake disc, which causes, obviously the brake to stop. So I'm going to go ahead and clean it up first, make sure that all the pistons are compressed when I press the brake pedal in. And that's what you want, because you want the more pistons that are compressing right, the better braking you'll have when you're on the road. So let me go ahead and take care of the cleaning, and then I'll get back to y'all. Alright, so I took off those securing bolts, and I took off the brake pads. There they are, sorry. Those are the new ones. Look a whole lot better. Anyways, you can see the pistons. There's 2 of them right there. 2 of them right there, each side. And I put a generous amount of Simple Green on there. Can't go wrong with that. So I'm just going to use a toothbrush and just start moving around the pistons and pushing them down with the thumbs, and then pressing the brake lever so that the pistons come back out and you can clean all around them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it about a good 5-10 minute clean, give it a nice little wash, and go ahead and secure those new brake pads in. Alright, so here you are. As you can see, it's a whole lot more cleaner. Got about a good 10-minute wash in here. Use a toothbrush, that Simple Green, some water. Kept going at it. It's good to go. As you can see, the pistons are compressed in the caliper. And in these small brakes and these motorcycle brakes, you can just use your thumbs and fingers just to press them in. A little different from cars. Obviously, they got bigger brakes. But for these motorcycle brake calipers, you can just push them in just with your fingers. Alright, so next I'm just going to go ahead and put in the brake pads, and then put in those safety pins, and I'll go from there. So since I only have one hand, I got to set this down, but I'll show you how I do it. So here we are, new brake pads in. Put on the safety bolts. All they do is just secure them in place, since there's little hooks at the top of the brake pads, keep them in place. So they're pretty much in place. Make sure they're spread apart, even, flat against the pistons. What you're just going to do, put it back on. Sorry, it's just a little difficult with one arm, one hand. Alright. y'all have any questions, just feel free to comment below. But this is pretty much a simple process. I've been out here no more than for an hour. After this process, I'm gonna go ahead and bleed them, but that's another video process that I don't have to show on this video. But if you're interested, just let me know, and I'll go ahead and put another video up of how to bleed your brakes. But just to recap of what I did, I have my bike currently on a rear stand. Makes the process a whole lot easier. You just loosen the 2 caliper bolts, loosen up these 2 safety pins, remove the caliper, remove the brake pads, make sure you clean up the pistons with some good degreaser and toothbrush so that they compress the brake pads better, ultimately, you know, resulting in a better braking stopping distance. After you cleaned it, go ahead and put your brake pads back in, safety clips back in, bolts back on, tighten them up to spec. What I like to do is just hand tight. That's all you really need to do. And then just pressing the brake lever so that the pads are pushed against the disc. Another thing is you can use a Scotch-Brite pad, and you're just going to scour just brake disc, and what that does, it gives it a new fresh finish, you know, and just pretty much help the brake pads get broken into the bike. And then when you have them all ready to go, ready to get back on the road, you want to go ahead and test drive it, and you want to really press those brakes in and get those broken in after a while. High speeds, high braking, that'll pretty much do it for y'all. But yeah, if y'all have any questions, go ahead and comment below, and I'll go ahead and answer those questions. Pretty simple process, shouldn't take no more than an hour with some simple hand tools. As you can see, it's pretty much all I used. 3-inch extension, 12mm socket, 3/8 drive ratchet. I think it's a 5mm Allen key, but it's different on every other bike, but you get the idea. And then the brake pads themselves, degreaser. That's pretty much it. So yeah, pretty simple process. Hope y'all understood it, and I'll get back to y'all in another video soon. Thanks.